and everybody has just been blowing up my phone. So I was like, I'm just gonna go live and talk about this Diddy verdict, because everybody's been talking about this case. He was found not guilty on most of the charges. He was found guilty on the Mann Act, or which is, you know, the prostitution. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm able to say that on YouTube. I'm trying to use YouTube friendly words. So like the male S workers, that's what the 2 counts were. One for Jane, one for Cassie. So wow, yeah, not guilty on most of the charges. And as a multi-millionaire, as a real estate, y'all see I'm out here working. I actually have to go to the dentist. One of my teeth is bothering me. As a multi-millionaire, as an entrepreneur, we get wrapped up in some of these cases, but we should not, okay? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about right quick. Like, he was not guilty, and we have to move on with our lives. Like, whether you wanted him to be guilty, whether you wanted him to be not guilty, either way, we have to move on with our lives. Like, this doesn't have anything to do with us per se. We don't know Diddy. Noelle is living her life, got kids, got properties, got life going on. I don't know Diddy. So for him to be found not guilty doesn't hurt my feelings. I definitely thought he was going to be found guilty on more of the things. I'm not going to lie, that was just my opinion. But I also understand why he was found not guilty on the RICO. I see why he was found not guilty on the sex trafficking. Let me go inside my car for a second. Okay, actually I don't have to. I don't want to sit inside the car. Can y'all hear me good? Nakia Dowdy, I see y'all. Hey, Nakia. D, yes, D, life goes on. I wonder if I can make this higher. Maybe I can even get a better angle. This one is different. This one is different because the Diddy case is something that has just intrigued us as a person. And again, I am a real person. I have lots of businesses and things that I do, and I'm busy living my life. But yes, I'm a real person. I see that this trial was happening. I kind of was in it. And kind of just, you know, but not really that much. And that's kind of one of the things where I'm saying, like, let me explain this to you. You got to get focused on your business. You're worried about what you're doing. Yes, things are happening out in the world, but if it doesn't affect you, you really don't care that much. So when we talk about Diddy, okay, which is what I'm talking about. I'm here. Yes, D, loud and clear, sis. Yes, we focus on ourselves, but yes, news will come into our feed and different things like that. This one I think is a little bit different for some of us. And I'm going to be a little bit clear because I am a black female entrepreneur. And I get the responsibility that kind of comes with that. And I don't think Diddy was really living in that. Like, there's a real responsibility that comes into that. You know what I mean? And he just kind of, and I said this before, I haven't made videos about this because this is not what I talk about. I'm always focused on you. Like, let's get these businesses going. Let's get business credit. Let's get real estate. That's what Noelle is about. But then as you grow, you do become like a mentor and an inspiration to people. And that's very important, that you're lifting people up. You're living by an example. You're trying to do your best. We're not perfect people. Noelle is not perfect. Diddy is not perfect. But you got to kind of do your best to be a role model, because you have achieved something and it is your audience that has given you that. And so when we're talking about some of the behavior that we saw, one of the things that really got me with this Diddy case that I never really was feeling was that tape with Cassie, that I saw him grab her, throw her to the ground, kicking her. I just did not mess with that. That really hurt my heart so much, for him to be behaving like that and to know that that side of him existed. And so when we're talking about, like, okay, he's not guilty on RICO, right? That tape I saw, that tape you saw, Johnny Moore, hey, that wasn't RICO. Sam Z said he paid them, right? I think that too, Sam Z. I do think he paid Gina. I think he even, and of course, he's paying Jane's rent. We already saw that in the case. He was paying Jane's rent. He gave Cassie $20 million. Gina didn't come to testify because we know that she got paid, and then ironically TMZ sees her out kind of just at Whole Foods with no bags, makeup done, and all of this other stuff. I'm like, how you fully made up coming out of Whole Foods with no bags? That's what Gina did, because Gina didn't testify. So it was a lot of things working against the prosecution. It was a lot of things working against the prosecution. Diddy is rich. Diddy is famous. So that's gonna be different. Hold on, I'm just moving to the sun a little bit. I'm about to leave. That's too much sun. So let me keep going. So there's some real things that we got to kind of talk about. Like I said, he's not guilty. Not guilty on trafficking. He is not guilty of racketeering and RICO. There was 5 charges. They only found him guilty of 2 of them. They found him guilty of the male S workers. That's it, 2 counts of that. Okay, 1 for doing that with Jane, 1 for doing that with Cassie. That's the verdict. He was not guilty on 3 of the charges, guilty on 2 of the charges. The 2 charges that he was found guilty on, we already know, were the 2 lower charges. Those were the lesser of the charges. Those were the ones that don't carry very much time. Diddy might walk out of jail. When he gets sentenced, they may give him time served. And that's fine, right? That's fine, guys. Like, he gets out. What does that have to do with us? You know, Noelle got a Grow Your Wealth event coming up July 26, 2025. You should get your tickets to that. GrowYourWealthBootcamp.com. Use code YouTube to save 25% and learn about, let's just build our own businesses and be better entrepreneurs and be better role models, okay? Again, no judgment. Noelle and Randall is not here to judge Diddy. He was already found not guilty. This is not for us to judge, right? Somebody, ATL Max, said he did Puff Daddy innocent. I don't know about innocent. Like I said, he was found guilty of 2 of the charges. He was found not guilty of 3 of the charges. There were 5 charges total. So definitely not guilty is what we would have to say, was the overall thing, because out of 3 out of 5 were not guilty. But the more important thing, and the lesson that I keep trying to explain to everybody, I'm always going to press home, is this doesn't have anything to do with us. This was not a win for anybody except Diddy, because that doesn't put any money in our bank account. That doesn't help with our kids. That doesn't help to walk our dogs. Okay, D, right? Let's go. We have to go do our own thing. And that's why I'm saying, like, come to the Grow Your Wealth Bootcamp on Saturday, July 26th, because we're going to be talking about business credit and business funding. It's going to be interactive. It's inexpensive, and you can kind of just be working on you and your business. Or you can go to somebody else's event. Again, this is not me saying that you have to come to Noelle Randall's event. I'm saying let's just focus on us and our business, and let's work together with us entrepreneurs and not entrepreneurs like Diddy that we have nothing to do with. And that's going to be going to jail, or maybe getting right out of jail. He probably is getting right out of jail. Like, if I'm being honest, this man is probably getting out of jail, like, soon. Like, probably when they sentence him, he's getting out. It's probably going to be time served. And the part that really, really hurts my feelings, like I said, I was like, whoa, because this is what I predicted. Anybody, again, I got wealthy friends, they was like, he got so much money. He was paying $3 million a month for his attorneys, y'all. $3 million a month for his attorneys. That's money. But again, does that help us? No. So why we would get our own $3 million, so that if something happened to us, we have our money? That's one way to look at it, right? Nakia says house arrest. Nakia Dowdy, right? Probably house arrest is what he's gonna get. Probably he needs to go live in his mansion. He might get house arrest. I actually think he probably just gonna get time served and just let him out of jail. It hurts my feelings because, again, I saw the tape of what he did to Cassie, and that did jade me. Again, I don't know if it jaded you. You could talk to me, you know, in the chat. Rabbi Treats says, I said that too. I just thought he was gonna get off. He's rich, he got all this money, he's paying all this money. Like you say, he could pay off everybody. He got a bunch of people to not even show up at the trial. That's what having money and wealth does do. Again, used the wrong way. I don't think that's what you should do with your money. Again, but I'm not here to judge. What I am here to tell you, though, is that there's a lesson for me and you. It don't have nothing to do with us being his groupie or being his fan, because that's nothing in it for us. But what we did learn is getting your money together can help you out. I think I did. It made me really stronger in that, right? Didn't it make you really stronger in that? Like, dang, I gotta get, so I can have, but again, I don't do the things that he does. I would never, ever, ever, ever do those things. Again, not judging. He gets to do whatever he wants to do. But let's talk about this for a second. Does this mean something for Black entrepreneurs? That was a question that people was texting me. Like, what does this mean for Black entrepreneurs or minority entrepreneurs? And I said, absolutely nothing. I don't think this has anything to do with us or Black people or Black entrepreneurs or Black men. Or I really don't want to get into that. I just don't think that's the best thing for us, because that's not us. That's not us. Like, like, oh, we beat people in lobbies. No, that's not us. So why even go there and answer those silly questions? We are mothers, wives, husbands, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, teachers. That's who we are. We're not in court. He gonna be throwing his parties, somebody said. Right. That don't have nothing to, because it doesn't have anything to do with us. We need to focus on us and our businesses, our real businesses, and have more power. Because honestly, I did learn something. And somebody talked to me about this. Tell me if you agree. Do you feel that we learned money and wealth and influence and power is valuable? Yeah. When he started, he did lose though. Let's talk about that, because again, as an entrepreneur, I always tell you why I go to classes and seminars and conferences still to this day, and I say you should too, keep learning, keep growing, is because we all have things that we can work on. We all have inner issues that we could work on, okay? And I said that in May when this whole first thing came out. I just made one video about Diddy. You could go back and watch that live in May. All I said was that tape was bad. That tape changed how I saw Diddy. It didn't make me think he was going to prison. It did not make me think he was a sex trafficker. It did not make me think any of those things. It made me think, wow, let me make sure I am completely doing my inner work. I'm praying, I'm Bibled up, I'm blessed up, I'm saying my affirmations, I'm thinking positively, I'm telling my family that I love them, I'm not letting anger or resentment or power or influence or any of these negative lower emotions affect my behavior in a way that could really tear down a whole empire. Diddy started off this, he was worth over $700 million when he started. Now, he is estimated that his net worth is down to $300 million. Now, okay, we already know that $300 million is still good. We don't have no problem with that. He probably has no problem with that. But he lost a lot. He lost a lot behind this. And so for even a smaller entrepreneur, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, we couldn't take a loss like that. We wouldn't want to lose half of our wealth behind a behavior, behind bad behavior. So to me, that's a lesson. That's a really big lesson. Like, not, because some of the stuff I feel like, I love you guys. It's a little like, yeah, somebody said, where's the real estate? I literally am just left out of one of my properties. It's in the back. So one of the condos, you guys see it back there. I actually was QCing it. It's the 4th of July weekend coming up, and then I got to go to the dentist. I'm having an awful issue. My face is swollen on this side from one of my teeth. But I'm still out here working because that's what I do. I didn't sit around watching the TV waiting for Diddy's verdict or anything like that. Again, the real lesson is I'm just happy this is over. So we can all get back to what we do. We could get back to our lives. We could get back to loving God and saying, this is what we do, and this is my business, and working together with our businesses or the people that we trust and we love in our businesses, and not too much worry or get caught up with all of what Diddy is doing, what the verdict is. Again, not guilty is basically what it is. He's basically not guilty, and that hurt a lot of people. I know a lot of people. Shout out to my girl, Tisa Tells. Shout out to Dodash. Shout out to Make It Make Sense. Shout out to Armand Wiggins, just some of the YouTubers and stuff that I know that covered the case. They really went out to that courthouse every day. Noelle did not have time for that, y'all. I stayed working on my business. And shout out to those people because they monetized it. They turned that into content. They made money off of it. I love that. Salute to y'all. I love that. Use it. Use it to make money. Use it to share information. Use it to grow your platform. You can't, Diddy did what he did, and the verdict is going to be what it is. And the verdict is not guilty. Not guilty on 3 of the 5 charges. Not guilty. Guilty on just 2 of them. The more minor charges is what he was found guilty on. So it really feels like, wow, what a long trial from May to July. You know, started, I think, May 5th, they said. And then it ended July. Today's what, July 2nd. All for not guilty. We did all of this, and too many of us have been just way too invested in this. I was talking with my sister-in-law. She's an entrepreneur as well, and we sometimes would just listen to some of the things that was going on to the case, but at the same time staying focused on our business. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, what client do I have? What contract do I need to send? What do I need to do? Is summer out? We have kids that's out on summer vacations and things like that, and to me that's the important thing. That is the important thing. What we are doing in our lives, we are not going to focus on Diddy. Sorry, let me take let me take some of y'all comments. I love y'all so much. Y'all are so amazing. Thank y'all. I was like, I just have to go live. I walked out because my phone was just blowing up. Not with alerts, but blowing up from people like, girl, the verdict is in. And I was like, why do y'all care? But we do care. We do. Okay, so I'm reading some of the comments. It says, can I walk away from it? I didn't get caught up in the foolishness. Cara Bland says that. I came into the station with my slot and was going to give it to another woman. Another beautiful face, and I'm pretty sure she got down with the producer. Ooh, Kara, I don't know. Megatron said they raided his homes, took all his digital footage, and then charged him a couple of months later. How they gonna charge him with stuff they couldn't prove? Huge waste of time. Kinda. I don't even want to say that. But yeah, kind of a waste of time. It was kind of a waste of time. Let's keep going because it's true. Rabbit's Treat says, I said it was just a distraction. Yes, that's what I've been saying to you guys. Well, I haven't even wanted to make lives about this and make content about this. Again, shout out to the YouTubers that did, but why Noelle, Randall did not want to make content about this is because we should be focusing on our business, y'all. Rates are about to come down. People are in foreclosure that you could save their houses. We got people getting new Airbnbs. I just closed on 5 houses last month. With clients, people buying investment properties, and I have a portfolio that I'm putting together for other people. It's real stuff going out here where we could be making our own money instead of watching what he's doing. But it really was such a distraction that I'm so happy the verdict is in and this is over so that we can get back to what we're doing. Again, growyourwealthbootcamp.com, July 26, 2025. I want you guys to come. Business credit, business funding. It's for all industries where it's not about real estate. This event really is for us to talk about business credit and business funding because quite frankly, with what Trump is doing and some of this big, beautiful bill and some of that stuff that's hidden in there is some stuff that we're going to really benefit from because the banks and stuff are getting more money and they're actually going to be reducing rates. So let me keep reading some more comments because you guys are really on point. I want y'all to know this was a distraction. That's what I'm saying. I want to explain this to you like as a entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. All I can tell you is that was a distraction. Let's get back to our business. Let's get back to what we do. All right. Miss Cam says the house she owns is paid for by someone else who actually works. Talking about Jane. Yeah, you're right, girl. You're right. Cara Bland said teach your kids to read because these kids going to college ain't reading up. That's such a true. Well, I have a whole video about that. I'm going to put a video out yesterday about why we can't focus and it has so much to do with the reading. All right, let's keep. Rabbit said it's not over though. It's over for us. Can it be over for us? Rabbits, can we be done with this Diddy trial? The verdict is in. Not guilty, 3 of the counts, guilty on 2 of them. Can we move on? That's what I'm saying. I want to move on. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to talk about Diddy. We should be moving on to our businesses and what we can do. It happened. Jane, she still get her rent paid. He paid her $10,000 rent. We don't get that. We got to pay our own mortgages and rent. We move. I want to make my own like the Dutch now. Yes. Yes. Alex Bus. Yes. Rain T. May God be his guide. Yes, I hope that too. Nikki said, I need you as my mentor. How do I sign up now? You can always call, go to callnoelle.com and have a meeting with my success coach so we can kind of talk about what it is that you're wanting, what you're doing. But again, I want you guys to come to an event, like to come to the boot camp. The boot camp, again, if you don't want to wait till July 26th, I understand the event is July 26th, 2025. That's a Saturday. It's all day. It's 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Use code YouTube to save 50% off the tickets. It's an all-day event. I'll be teaching. It's interactive, so like we can share screens. You can come off mute, but it's not like this YouTube where I have to just read your comments. Like it really is like a Zoom meeting, so it's more interactive. It's live streamed. It's not a recording, nothing like that. Okay. So that's the Grow Your Wealth Bootcamp. So Nakia, yes, go to callnoelle.com and make a meeting, a call with one of my success coaches, or come to the event where I'm teaching, and then we can talk about that as well. So let's keep going. I love that. You guys are so smart. Aji says that you are amazing. Thank you. Karen said this is not your thing. No, I'm not a live streamer. I am not a Diddy person. I'm not let's talk about gossip. Let's talk about this celebrity that doesn't put any money in my bank account. I got kids to feed. I'm kidding. For real though. And I mean that for all of us. Like for all of us, this didn't make us any money unless you were one of the people that I kind of shouted out that went down to the trial and monetized it. and made, got subscribers, and made content, and people were paying to watch your content. But for the most of us, this Diddy trial didn't benefit us at all. Watching it didn't benefit us. He's guilty didn't benefit us. Him not guilty didn't benefit us. And now the verdict is in. He is not guilty on 3 of the 5 charges, the bigger charges, the biggest charge that they really wanted to get him on, the first count, the RICO count. He was not guilty. And that was the big thing. Like one of the guys said, they raided his house, they did all that, the feds, armor trucks, all of that, just for not guilty. Womp womp. Good for us. Let's get back to our lives now. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. We got some real stuff going on. We do. Big beautiful bill was passed, y'all. It's some stuff in there for us though. It's some stuff though. If you're on Medicaid, if you get any federal help, you got to start getting your stuff together. We got to start getting our stuff together. We do. Because there's things that we can do, and this whole Diddy thing has been just such a distraction. So I wanted to come on here. Like I said, I have one more property I have to QC. I have to do it myself. 2 of my team members are on vacation. It's the 4th of July weekend. I gotta go to Home Depot, so I have my I Buy Houses shirt on. I always wear this to Home Depot because then people will come up to me, and I usually get some investors from that type of stuff, or some wholesalers. Some marketing tools. So people are like, why do you have that on? I don't buy all the houses, but it's a good marketing tool. But right, Nakia, there's lots of money out here for business owners. There's lots of money. And Trump is really putting money into. There's going to be a lot more business funding. You guys know. And he's taking a lot of the regulations down. You can do a lot more different things where you take money from investors. You can do different funds. You can there won't be more grants. I can tell you that. That's not Donald Trump's thing, giving you free money. But there actually is a lot of grant money out there for minority business owners, and that has not been cut because most people don't even apply for it. So we'll be talking about a lot of that stuff at the boot camp, and the boot camp is live streamed, so you could be anywhere. Paul says this is London. Hi, Paul Kamara, London. What else says? So come to the boot camp, because then we'll talk about business credit, business funding, how to buy assets with business credit and business funding, how to get it in your business's name, how to not use your social security number. Like my cars and houses and stuff, they're in LLCs names and trust names owned by LLCs. Like there's a lot of way to hide your assets and protect your assets. Again, one of the things that I did learn with Diddy is how he was able to, he paid off his primary residence when it first started because they can't get your homestead. So that was like a $30 million mansion that he made sure that they weren't able to touch. So he had already started kind of making some moves that I was watching just as an entrepreneur, like, wow, that's smart. So that they were never going to get Diddy like that. They weren't. It got too much influence, too much celebrity, too much money. Once you kind of get those types of money, you really can. And then Trump would have pardoned him anyway. Somebody wrote that. Yes. Trump would have pardoned him anyway. So what do we care? Let's get back to our lives. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled programming. And let's do our inner work. Because what we did see play out in Diddy's life was someone that has some inner work that he got to kind of work on. Okay? The discount code is YouTube. So when you go to growyourwealthbootcamp.com, when you push buy tickets, there's 2 options, general admission and VIP. And it'll be a thing that says coupon code, apply. Write YouTube in there. You'll save 50%. And it's all day, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, very interactive. I had almost 1,000 people at the last one. It is really, really awesome. Like I teach you guys a lot. And literally, if you spend a Saturday with me on Monday, you will know what to do in your business, and you will have some plans, and you will have some real resources, like some links to things, and started applying for stuff, have the business already set up. A lot of it we get done like as we do it. So it's really awesome. It's a boot camp. So come on. So the kids say, I need to put my car in my business name. That's right. Put your car in your business's name so you can write the whole thing off. So there we go. YouTube. That's right, Megatron. The code is YouTube. All right, I'm going to get up off of here. We learned a lot today. Not guilty on 3 of the 5 counts. Guilty on 2, the 2 lesser ones that had to do with the male ex-workers coming in. He might get time served. But for us, we got to move on, guys. Like this is over. Today is Wednesday. July 3rd, I went live because this is over. We got to get back to our lives. I'm about to head to Home Depot, and then I'm going to the dentist. Like, we have our all things we have to do. We have our own lives to live, and I think that's the biggest lesson for them. And this does not cloud black entrepreneurship or minority entrepreneurship. It doesn't cloud black women or black men. It does not do anything. That's just something that happened, and now we're moving on. That's how I want us to take it. Okay? Y'all agree with me? All right. All right, somebody just booked. I love that, Alice Bus. Yes, I cannot wait to see you there. Yes, Nakia, I cannot wait to see you there. Megatron, I expect to see you there. London, expect to see you there. Rabbit Trees, and life goes on. That's right. That's right. I should come to Gambia. I would love to come to Gambia. I would. I've never been to Africa, the continent at all, because, again, we got to move on. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. I'll see y'all next time. GirlYourWealthBootcamp.com.